Welcome, class, to Lesson 5-5. Today, strong mathematicians can convert customer units of weight and liquid volume. So take out your notebook, your pencil, write down today's date, and let's get started. So some of our vocabulary words in this customary unit of weight or mass is ounces. OZ, it's a unit of weight. A pound, you might have heard that we measure things in pound. So a pound, its abbreviation is LB. It's a unit of weight that equals 16 ounces, so 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And a ton is a unit of weight that equals 2,000 pounds. It doesn't really have abbreviations. It's such a short word that it be. So you write down these notes in your notebook along with the relationships of ounces to pounds and then pounds to tons to help us as we move forward through this lesson. Some other things we need to do is a bunch of liquid volume. How do we measure liquid volume in the customary unit? We have fluid ounces, so they're different than regular ounces, so make sure it's FLOZ. So fluid ounces is a unit of liquid volume. And then a cup is a unit of liquid volume that equals 8 fluid ounces. So 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. A pint, a unit of measurement that equals 16 fluid ounces or 2 cups. So a pint is equal to 2 cups. A pint is equal to 12 fluid ounces. So we have all these relationships that we're going through right now to make them connect. A quart's another unit of volume. A quart equals 2 pints. A quart equals 4 cups. Or a quart equals 32 fluid ounces. They're all relationships that a quart and those other units have. And last but not least, the biggest unit that we measure in is a gallon. Think about if you go to the gas station, a gallon of gas. Well, a gallon would be 128 fluid ounces. A gallon could also be 16 cups. A gallon's also 18 pints. Or a gallon's also 4 quarts. So there are a ton of relationships on this chart that I'd like you to write down because it's those relationships that you need to know when we convert from one unit of liquid volume to another unit. So you can pause the video right now, write this information down, and we'll continue on. So here he goes. In our next study, you see a lot of these charts and examples as we learn that. So look for, we see it starts with 2, so we don't know what the relationship is. So think of what's bigger, a ton or a pound? Well, we know that a ton is bigger, so 1 ton equals how many pounds? We can go back to our notes and realize that a ton equals 2,000 pounds. So what does that mean? How do they go from 2 to 4,000? Well, 2 times. Since they have 2 tons, that's 2 groups of 2,000. And we do the same thing for our 4 to get 8,000. We take that same number times 2 to get 12,000. We always want to go back to that number that we have in that relationship instead of just trying to figure out if there's a pattern, because not necessarily the numbers always go in a pattern. And if we get one of them wrong, that would throw all the other ones off as well. There's a lot of zeros in this one, but we got it. So there's our chart of how many tons and pounds of different amount of tons equals different amounts of pounds. You can pause that right now and write that down to help you out. And now we have some examples. As we've seen in the past, we have a certain number of pounds, how many ounces. So you have to find that relationship. We know a pound is bigger. If we go back to our notes, we know that 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So that means I have 18 groups of 16. So 18 times 16. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 4 is 10. Now my next one, my 1 place value is in the tens. I'm going to start with my tens. 1 times that is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Add those up. I can put a 8, an 8, and a 2. So in 18 pounds, there are 288 ounces. So there's that relationship for that one. We'll take that part over. And now we'll solve the next one. There are 7 tons. And how many pounds? We know a ton is bigger. How many pounds are in 1 ton? If you look back at our notes, that would be 2,000. So you have 7 groups of 2,000. So 2,000 times 7, we get a 0, 0, 0. 7 times 2 is 14. So that would be 14,000 pounds. So you can pause it down again. Make sure you talk about those relationships, how they work, and how we can use those relationships to help us solve our problems. Here's another one, gallons and ounces. It's nice because they put the relationship right here for us, which makes it really nice. That means for every one, we have 128 ounces. So now I'm going to times 2 by 128 and get 256. 3 times 128, which would give us 4. Oh boy, now we're really struggling. 483 times 4 by 128, and then we're going to get 2 1, 5, and 5 by 128, and we're going to get 630. Nope, 640. How about that? So if you're not sure, you can always multiply them out to get those information, but it's all about finding that relationship to figure out the number we need for each of them. And now we're doing some cups to fluid ounces. Now we're using some liquid volumes right here. So what's bigger, a cup or a fluid ounce? We know a cup is bigger. We know there's 8 fluid ounces in one cup. So that means I have 10 groups of 8, which would mean I would have 80, which would be 8 times 10 or 10 times 8, which probably didn't need any work whatsoever, but we're going to show it anyways because it's good to show our work. Gallons to pints. Ooh, here we go. How many gallons are in a pint? Well, I know a gallon is bigger. I'm going to go back to my notes. Let's see if I'm just going to think in my head through the process. There are 4 quarts in a gallon. There are 2 pints in a quart, so 4 times 2 would be 8. So there are 8 pints in a gallon. So 8 times 2 would give us 16. So there's 16 pints in a gallon. You can pause this right now as we keep working on more information and relationships to help us with measuring liquid volume in the customary units. Draw a big line right now. Now it's your turn to showcase all those relationships that you learned and putting those to work by solving how many pounds and ounces in this table. You can fill out this chart right now. Another one we have for you is we have 9 tons equals how many pounds, and 28 pounds equals how many ounces. So those are 2 more problems we need to try to figure out. So show the relationship, show your work, show your answer, and those are kind of the big 3 steps we're looking for when you solve a problem. Here's now with liquid volume in the customary unit, going from quarts to ounces. So we're going to fill out this chart as well. And last but not least, we have 24 quarts equals how many cups, and 6 gallons equals how many quarts. So pause the video, show the relationship, show your work, show your answer. I look forward to see all your great conversions in the customary units. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to write those down or share those out. Also, if you have any strategies that you use to help you, make sure you share those as well. And again, thanks for another great lesson.